Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Trent's Tackle Box. So today, episode number 2, I'm going to be showing you guys probably one of my favorite swim baits to target redfish with. So it's called the Mambo Mullet. Hopefully you can see it there. They come in packs of 2. This is kind of what it looks like outside the box. But these are made by a company called Egret baits. And this is probably my favorite color. This is my favorite color. It's really the only color I throw. It's called Injured Mullet, and all it really is, it's just like a white color with black on top, and then the eyes are chartreuse. I throw this all the time for redfish, and I've actually caught quite a few trout, and usually you don't catch the smaller trout on these. Usually they're bigger trout that actually go after this. The other color I'll use is it's like a LSU color. It's purple and chartreuse tail. I pretty much only use that color after it's been raining a lot and the water is more of like a tannic, like red, dark, dirty color. So let's get into this thing. It's 3.5 inches long. It's all one piece. The hook's on the inside. You don't have to worry about threading a jig head through it or anything like that. The plastic they use is really, really heavy duty. I've never had a problem with redfish or trout tearing it up. The only thing that does happen to this is, especially with this color, is the top, the black, will fade away and it pretty much just turns into a white swim bait. And it still works well, but a lot of times once it all fades out and you catch a bunch of fish on it, usually I'll switch it out to a new one. They're not very expensive either. And the reason this is one of my favorite swim baits is you can see I'm just holding it and the tail is just kicking back and forth. So this thing puts off a lot of good vibration in the water, whether you're reeling it in slow, fast, or somewhere in between. And a lot of times it starts vibrating as soon as it hits the water and you start reeling. So that's really important, because the way I like to fish this thing is when it's high tide and there's like a tall grass line against the shore. A lot of times the reds are hanging out there and I just throw it right up into the grass and start cranking it out. And as soon as the Mambo Mullet leaves the grass edge, that's usually when they bite it. And I don't just throw it at grass lines, I also use it as a search bait because it's just so easy to just chuck and wind, and it makes covering water really easy. And as far as modifying this bait to make it better, there's really nothing that I do to it because it's all one piece. There's really not much you can do. A lot of times I will put like some Procure or some other kind of fish attractant on there just to hopefully entice the fish to bite a little bit more. And moving on to what kind of setup I throw this thing on, usually just a 7'6" medium action rod, still 20-pound braid, and then I usually use a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. And usually I'll tie it right to the bait with a loop knot. Sometimes put a loop knot up there, but I also like to use these tactical angler clips. You probably can't even see it, but I know I mentioned it in my last video, but I just kind of want to show you guys what it is. So you just clip it right on there, and it still lets the bait move freely, but if you want to change it out to a different color or a different bait altogether, you just unclip it, and they're super easy to use. And that does it, guys, for the Mambo Mullet. There's not a whole lot to talk about this thing, but it's definitely one of my favorite swim baits to target redfish and trout with. Here at the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys a few video clips, maybe some pictures of me catching fish with this thing. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and look out for episode number 3 coming soon. See you next time.
I really wish I had the camera on for that. Zero hesitation at all. As soon as it hit the water, it was just like a rocket straight out.
Alright, well, I ended up getting another one. It's not quite as big. It's a 25-incher, but definitely was hungry for that Mambo Mullet.